content warning. Got to do that for this, I think.
I think that's a good idea.
Not everyone's going to want to hear about this.
Certainly not.
It's genuinely an upsetting movie in terms of animal abuse. So
I went outside and started explaining it to my girlfriend, and she was basically just like, stop telling me about this movie.
Oh my God, I had the exact same experience. I was like, I just got to get this off my chest to my wife. And she's like, what? Stop telling me about this. I'm going to have a nightmare. Welcome back to the Retro Cartoon Dude Show. Today we are talking about The Plague Dogs. We're going to be going through the plot and talking about all the weird and wild and mostly upsetting stuff. We should introduce ourselves. I'm Chris, and I've been avoiding watching this movie for quite some time now. I didn't want to watch a movie called Plague Dogs because why do the dogs have to have the plague? That's crazy. That's a crazy conceit for a film.
And I'm Connor, and I just finished watching Plague Dogs about 20 minutes ago. And once this call is over, I'm going to be taking a mental health leave.
You're just going to walk into the ocean.
Yeah.
We're all going to get through this together. You know, sometimes...
This is actually group therapy.
Exactly. This movie, it's so ominous. From the score to the way there's just like these micro scenes where the scene will fade in and a dog will just say it's something like, the demons in my head are buzzing. And then it just fades out and nobody's like, that's the whole scene?
Yeah, it's a very minimalist, like for an animation, it's a very minimalist approach. Very simple shots, really well directed though. But like it's not doing anything too crazy in the medium.
That's true of the animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like...
That being said, there are moments like obviously representing whatever the fuck's going on with this lobotomized dog and like the things that he's seeing. It's pretty interesting. I wrote an essay when I was in university on the way that animation is just such a strong medium to represent madness and just the different ways that it can do that and sort of represent the unfilmable. And I kind of wish at the time that I'd use this movie as a reference because there's
a lot of
to
that
say.
in this. Yeah. And probably the most ominous thing about this movie is the way the like date title cards come on the screen. Like it'll just like the scene will fade out to black and then there'll just be a title card that pops up, November 3rd, day 35.
Yeah, very bleak.
It feels like it's like a episode of Law and Order.
Yeah.
Dun dun. October 14th.
Cut to a body.
Well, yeah, that literally happens several times in this movie.
Yeah. I was not... Whatever, I'm getting ahead of myself. Didn't think the dog would kill a man.
This film went beyond my expectations of what I was expecting by far.
A dog shoots a guy. That happens.
I didn't expect a little fox terrier to blow a man's face off with a shotgun, but that's just something that happens in the movie.
Wasn't on my list, for sure.
Here's a quick plot breakdown. So it's about two dogs escape from a sadistic laboratory and befriend a fox. The dogs are hunted with increasing force because the humans deem them possible carriers of the bubonic plague. Bow wow wow yippee-yo yippee-yay. Dogs don't need to have the plague. There's a part of the movie too that's like somebody says like the title of the movie because like they're like it's humans watching on the news and like, oh, the dogs might have the plague. That means they're plague dogs. And usually in a movie when they say the title of the movie, it's kind of a cool moment. It's like, yeah, it's like a fun moment. But here it's like, nah, like the dogs have the plague. That sucks.
Do you think they had the plague?
No, I guess technically we don't really know, but I don't think so. Otherwise,
they've escaped from a lab where they were testing all sorts of different animals, obviously dogs, but they were also like injecting rats with the plague or something.
Yeah, we learned that the rats had the plague.
Yeah, they're concerned that the dogs picked up a flea or like they're carrying what the rats had. But that's never actually demonstrated to us. It's all just conjecture.
I don't think they actually had the plague. I think Yeah. Otherwise, they would have some symptoms after all this time, like dun dun. 4 months later, like it's been so long,
Yeah.
and they're fine still. So,
Oh, that's true. And actually, there is a scene that totally confirms it where they're talking to one of the other dogs up in the hills, and they're like, "You don't think we're sick?" And the dog's like, "No, I would know if you were fucked up." And I think
oh,
that
they would
at
smell it.
face value is sort of supposed to tell us for sure that the
Okay, yeah,
dogs are
true,
fine.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would smell that plague, that stanky plague. All right, let's talk about some of the production of The Plague Dogs. The Plague Dogs is a 1982 adult animated adventure drama film based around the 1977 novel of the same name by Richard Adams, who is also the same author of the book Watership Down.
It's fucking, what's wrong with this guy? Sorry.
Richard Adams? The stories
Yeah.
he's coming up with?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think what's actually wrong with him is he went to war and then he came back and he was like, I gotta fucking like pawn my depression off onto other people as well.
Right.
But yeah,
It's essentially what I'm doing right now with this video.
he's got some sad animal stories up his sleeves. That's for sure. And it's the same filmmakers that brought us Watership Down that made The Plague Dogs.
Actually, I haven't seen Watership Down. I'm familiar with the story, but I haven't seen. I know that you've covered it.
Yeah, it's not as well, it's differently upsetting. It's also pretty intense. It's got some more graphic imagery. There's a lot more blood and like violence happening in Watership Down, but The Plague Dogs is, to me, by far way just more of a bummer overall.
Yeah, it's very bleak. There's not. I thought that was something I noticed. Is there's really no like major highs or lows in the movie. It's kind of just like a steady bleakness throughout the whole thing. Like obviously things happen and there's some rising and falling incidents, but like there's nothing major. Like it's kind of just starts as a bummer and continues through the whole movie as just this kind of depiction of survival. And it reminded me a lot of The Road in a way, if you know that story.
No, I don't know that one.
It's a book also adapted into a movie book. I've not seen the movie, but I've read the book. And it's similarly just like a story of survival in a very bleak landscape and not a lot of hope at all throughout the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like maybe a one scene with the fox where they're like doing all right and they're like hunting a duck.
Yeah.
But that's it. It doesn't last too long.
That's as good as it gets.
That's as good as it gets. You're hunting 1 minute, you're hunting a duck. Next, you're back in the fucking pit of despair. God damn. So this was released October 21st, 1982. And yeah, it is a adult animated adventure drama film specifically because, yeah, there's always that thing of, you know, people thinking animated film means children's film. So make no fucking mistake here. That is not the case.
Yeah.
But I'm sure people were bringing their kids to the theater in 1982 by mistake, you know, without any research.
I hope they got out of there basically as soon as the movie started because it doesn't take much to let you know that your kid shouldn't be fucking watching this movie.
You're right.
I don't think the opening titles need to end before you grab your 6-year-old and drag him out of the theater.
It becomes pretty clear, pretty quick. Once we get to the plot breakdown, you'll see pretty much the worst moment of the movie happens right away. And 2 versions of this movie exist. The original UK theatrical release and the edited US version. Most of the edits were made to reduce running time, but one was for its shocking content. And I don't know do you know which version you watched? Did you watch
I think I watched the full length, like the hour 43.
Because of the shocking content? Is that what? Yeah. How you know? Because you saw some shocking content?
There was some shocking content, but what did they cut?
Well, when we get to it, I'll point it out.
Okay.
It is pretty shocking.
Is it the guy's mangled body?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's the dead human body that's been ravaged by dogs.
Not the most upsetting scene in the movie to me. I think like if they wanted to cut it, they should have just axed the whole thing. Really, they could have left maybe opening titles and the end credits, and then cut everything in the middle. But I don't think that human body was my biggest issue. But I understand.
And the end of the movie is considerably more grim than the one in the book. This is because director Martin Rosen was presented the story in its original manuscript before publishers convinced Richard Adams to soften his ending.
So they gave the director the original, which had a more depressing ending, and then they pulled a fast one and they made the book have a happier ending.
Yeah, exactly. Although
That's kind of fucked up.
I don't know. This, to me, this ending wasn't that sad, really. I like the ending.
I thought it was very sad.
But it leaves, I mean, we'll get to the ending, but to me, it left things open to interpretation. Connor's shaking his head. Connor's walked out of the room.
If the lobotomized dog who's been having fucking hallucinations for weeks tells you that there's an island out there and you better start swimming, I don't think we should listen to that dog. I think they were between a rock and a hard place.
I think they're on the island right now, still
I hope
still
they
alive.
are. I wanted to believe that, but I don't know.
They're having a great time. And in this movie, there's no rotoscoping. It's all hand-drawn.
That's pretty unbelievable.
Do you want to just give a quick explanation of rotoscoping for anybody who doesn't know what that is?
Yeah, I can try. I mean, it's using like real-life references that you essentially draw over, or you go frame by frame to like get a really like, think of a movie like Waking Life. I believe that's all rotoscoped. Really cool animated movie by Richard Linklater, and it's like you can kind of tell because in a way it looks very lifelike because you're going like frame by frame in a sense of a real reference and then drawing over it. And it's a good way to get really like realistic depictions of movement or whatever. So hearing that it's not rotoscoped and that they actually just did this motherfucker by hand is crazy because you're animating dogs who have these very lifelike movements and stuff. I would definitely expect at times that they were using a reference of some kind like that.
Same. I think it looks amazing, and like the art style is like pretty like realistic looking in terms of the proportions of the dogs and everything.
Yeah, and there's one shot I'm thinking of specifically that's like a 3D looking shot of
the
Ralph howling.
Shot?
Yeah, on the mountain, and it wraps around him.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But also,
it's a really gorgeous movie.
Thank God that it is not rotoscoped, because that would have meant that they would have to put the dogs into these actual situations to then trace over them. So
that's true.
Good thing it's done by hand, because that would not be okay. You don't want to have an animated film that can't put the like PETA, thing, the disclaimer at the end that's like no animals harmed in this movie. If you did an animated movie and animals were harmed, you're doing something wrong.
That's crazy, yeah.
And Goldcrest Films invested £900,000 in the film, and the film earned £308,000, losing the company £595,000. That's a huge loss. I mean, I understand why. Like, it's so hard to market this movie. Any animated movie that's not fucking for kids is so hard to market.
I saw a poster for it. Just when I was doing some like cursory research, and
where they're running from the helicopter.
Yeah, and it says something about like the adventure of a lifetime.
This is
like,
not
what the fuck are you talking about?
This is the adventure of a death time.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's just a huge misrepresentation, I think. But you're right. That's like they have to market it somehow, right? Like I would be interested to go and watch the trailer for this I'm assuming there is a trailer. How they cut it up, and did they do the voiceover where it's like, two dogs
no
go on a wonderful adventure.
One has fucking brain damage, the other Serious trauma from being drowned.
It's a family affair. Bring your kids.
No, I watched the trailer because, like, people have been recommending this movie to me for almost a year now. And I'm like, I'm not watching a movie called Plague Dogs. What are you, fucking crazy? I can't subject myself to that. And then eventually I watched the trailer, and the trailer, like, it does a good job of setting you up for, like, yeah, you see what you're going to get.
Yeah.
There's a dog with fucking brain damage. There's another dog who's just a fucking bummer. And they're just walking through the wild.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, at least they're honest about it. No, that's why nobody went to fucking see it.
And there were 2 animation units. The British one that had worked on Watership Down, and a San Francisco one, which included Brad Bird, although he was fired from production, who is huge name in animation now. He went on to direct The Iron Giant, The Incredibles, and one of my personal favorites, Ratatouille. Hell yeah. And one of the other animators there was Rita Scott, a Disney veteran who animated the vicious hunting dogs in Bambi.
Huh.
So she was,
she's got her hands all over this thing.
Perfect resume for this.
Yeah.
Oh, you can animate an upsetting dog? You're hired.
We've got a job for you.
I got some things you need to draw. Pull up a chair. All right, let's talk about some of the characters. Well, all of the characters, actually. There's only really 3 characters in this movie. First, we got Snitter, voiced by John Hurt, the guy from Alien who gets chest bursted first. And
I mean, he's a fucking legend. Obviously, famous chest bursting in Alien, but when I saw that he was the voice of that, I was like, holy shit, it's a big name.
Yeah, he's the biggest name in this movie. And he is a mainstay of the 80s dark experimental animated films. He voiced roles in Watership Down, in the 1978 The Lord of the Rings, the Ralph Bakshi movie, Plague Dogs in 1982, and then The Black Cauldron in 85, which is Disney's demented movie. That doesn't seem like a Disney movie. And yeah, his performances, all the voice performances in this movie, pretty sick. They do a great job of just making me feel so much empathy for these characters.
Yeah, across the board, even the minor roles, I think the voice acting is all really stellar.
Yeah. And Snitter, so he's a small little smooth fox terrier. That's the type of dog, smooth fox terrier. And he's got a little bandage on his head covering up his experimental brain surgery wound. He is extremely optimistic about the prospects of getting a second chance in life and finding a new owner. But at the same time, he is haunted by the trauma and guilt of his owner's death. So, pretty complicated character.
Yeah.
And then we got Rolf. Did I pronounce that right? You just finished watching it.
Ralph?
Ralph.
Sounds more like a dog sound. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's Ralph, right?
Yeah.
Remind me if I start pronouncing it wrong. I'm pretty bad at that. There's one video I did a while ago. I covered this 80s Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Mm.
And in my video, I pronounced the bad guy's name wrong, but it's because I just watch it and I write my script and then I read it and I film it. I don't. And so the guy's name was Venjar or something. I can't even fucking remember now. But I was pronouncing it Vengar.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one was right and wrong. But people in the comments, holy shit. You'd think I had made the world's the greatest mistake ever made. People were accusing me. They were in the comments. They were saying, there's no way you actually watched it because you didn't pronounce his name right. And if you watch one of my videos, I literally explain everything that happens in the fucking episode.
You make the whole video.
I make the whole video. just from editing the video, I've watched it.
Yeah.
To accuse me of such a thing as not watching the cartoon is fucking crazy.
I hate to tell you, but I actually didn't watch Plague Dogs. I just read the Wikipedia.
Rolf? Okay. Sorry. What is it? Rolf?
Ralph.
This is going to be a
Ralph.
huge problem for me.
Ralph.
Ralph. Okay. It's
Ralph.
like Ralph.
Yeah.
Okay. Ralph is a Labrador mix. He's a big black dog. And he is very understandably bitter and sad. He's just having a bad time. That's his personality.
I think there's an interesting that you've already pointed it out, but like a big difference in their character, and Snitter has so much more optimism because he's been loved before, and he's telling Ralph about like masters. It's masters versus white coats. The masters are like good humans who take care of dogs, and the white coats are like these
scientists
bad humans
that fucking do brain surgery on you.
Yeah. And that optimism kind of like carries him a little bit in the beginning, whereas sort of from the get-go, because Ralph doesn't have any trust in humans, it's just feels a little more destitute, I think.
Yeah. So you think he didn't have an owner before?
I don't think so. Based on the conversations they have in the beginning, where Snitter's kind of explaining to him like,
true, the concept of it.
And at one point he's like, "Oh, my old master," and Ralph's like, "I don't want to fucking hear about your old master. Like, don't talk about that." Because I just think he doesn't I don't think he had an owner before, and he just doesn't trust humans because he's being drowned every goddamn day and then brought back.
Great reason not to trust humans. Honestly, I don't trust them either. Humans are fucked up. And then we got the Todd. He's a fox. And yeah, I guess his name is the Todd. That's what he says.
Yeah, I don't know. That's some
or
Scottish thing or something. I don't know what the fuck his deal is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're all like very British to different degrees. Honestly, a bit hard to understand them because their accents are so thick.
Yeah, the version I watched had captions, which was helpful for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he's a fox, and he seems like a sneaky bad dude, but he's actually pretty chill, and he's just looking for his place in the world just as much as the dogs, and he finds family in their friendship.
Yeah, it's kind of a mutually beneficial situation where they provide some sort of protection for him to get around a little more freely and get into find food and whatever, and they kind of act as his dumb security in a way.
Yeah, that's how he proposes it in the beginning, but I think like it does evolve beyond that, where
he cares for them.
He genuinely loves these guys, and like they become a found family.
For sure.
Okay, well, let's get into the plot of The Plague Dogs. The film opens up with the date, October 15th, day 1. Dun dun. We see a long, slow shot of some water. We slowly pan up towards a scientist looking down into the water, and then there is a jump scare as the dog bursts out of the water, gasping for air. It's Ralph, a Labrador mix. He's in the tank, struggling to swim, and he's within a sadistic dog prison. As the dog runs out of energy and begins to drown, the scientists watch intently. Then, once he gives up and effectively dies at the bottom of the tank, they grab him by the collar with a long hook and pull him up, saying, 6.5 minutes longer than Wednesday's test, and 12 minutes longer than the one before that. It's remarkable how regular the increase appears to be, isn't it? My God. Yeah, it's remarkable. If you fucking drown someone every week, they become good at being drowned.
Yeah.
They'll survive a little bit longer every week. It's called practice. God damn. What could possibly be learned from this test they're doing here? Drowning a dog every week.
I'm not sure. I was wondering that. And that is a lot. Like at one point, shortly after this, just early on when they're escaping, Ralph says like, there's got to be some reason for this, doesn't there?
Oh, yeah.
And that really begs the fucking question.
No.
Just injecting rats with plague in the middle of a national park, drowning dogs. Like, what the fuck kind of place is this?
Yeah, this is no science lab. Like, this is not science. Science, you got beakers, you got Bunsen burners, you got a Bohr-Rutherford diagram. If you're holding a dog under a fucking water for as long as you can, that's not science.
Retro cartoon dude says no to animal testing.
No. As the scientists ramble on about the test, the dog lies on an operating table half dead with his tongue out on the table. Eventually, he gasps back to life under the bright beam of a fluorescent light. And this is where I was like, I need to put a content warning at the top of this episode.
Yeah.
This is very upsetting.
Yeah, they come in hot,
yeah.
this movie. Like, it starts with like you said, arguably the most upsetting imagery of the whole movie takes place in the first few minutes.
It's good they do that, so you don't get, you're not sitting with your kid in the theater for 40 minutes and then all of a sudden somebody's fucking drop kicking a dog or whatever.
They let you know what kind of movie this is right out the gate.
Next, we cut to an exterior of the despicable dog death facility, accompanied by some ominous, haunting, tinkering piano keys. Score in this movie is pretty rad. It's so
I kept
chilling.
noticing the score throughout.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a fair comparison at all, but for some reason, John Carpenter popped into my head at times. I think just like like you said, like the tinkling piano keys and stuff. Sometimes it made me think of some of his music.
Yeah. And the John Carpenter scores, they're more about vibe than just like specifically accenting what you're seeing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's this too. It's just like haunting tones and like dissonant keys and shit. Inside, a man lights up his pipe. He's the dude who feeds the dogs. He brings his slop buckets into the room lined with the dog cages, and the dogs react with varying degrees of broken spirits. This was the moment where like I welled up a lot because we're looking at these cages lined with dogs, and the guy who comes to feed them walks in the room, and all of the dogs are like, they don't react to him basically. They're just like lying on the floor and continue being depressed.
Yeah.
But there's one dog that like jumps up on his cage and is like excited because it's food time.
Yeah.
And it just instantly communicated so much to me, right? Like, it's like, this dog's probably new and he hasn't been subjected to the fucking horrors of this facility yet.
Yeah.
So he's still got the spirit of dog in him, like how a dog should react to food time.
Yeah.
And the other ones are like, do not even care anymore.
No, they know the drill.
And I was like, oh my God, like it's just.
Yeah, really good, like just visual storytelling. You don't need any words here. You know exactly like who's been around the block here. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
So the man makes his rounds, feeding the increasingly sad dogs. One small pooch with patchy fur is straight up dead. So he grabs the old dog corpse shovel and removes it. And Ralph. I'm going to just not try to think about that anymore. It's
just let it. Nobody's going to accuse you of not watching the movie.
I swear I watched The Plague Dogs. Talk about it for 2 hours and then someone's like, you didn't even watch it. What?
Fuck.
And Ralph, the dog who was being drowned in the previous scene, is here too, still recovering. Still got a hose jammed down his throat. The food man removes the throat hose and drops off a pile of slop for the dog and then leaves. However, he fails to close the dog's cell fully. And that night, Snitter, the fox terrier with a bandage on his head, in an adjacent cage, wakes up Ralph from his delirious state. And here it was so hard to understand what they were saying. I definitely could have used the subtitles because they're whispering, have these thick British accents.
Yeah.
And in the background, there's like howling, crying dogs the whole time.
Yeah, he's basically telling him that the wire's loose here and that he can help him escape. But then, because he's so fucking brain damaged, he actually forgot to mention that the guy's door is just unlocked. That's initially why he came over, was to tell him that, hey, your door was left open. But then instead he starts messing with the cage and he's like, I came over here for a reason. Well, I think it's because you can escape. And he starts to like mess with the wire to try and make it come loose.
Yeah. And here Ralph says, the water's terrible. Why do they do this? I'm not a bad dog.
Jesus.
I'm not a bad dog?
What a bummer.
God damn. Yeah. He's just a dog. You don't need to drown him for science.
No.
Nothing can be gained from that I could fathom.
I'm not sure either. I have no idea.
I mean, if they walk out of this, they're like, oh, we figured out how to cure cancer. All you have to do is drown a dog. It's like, okay, then maybe you get a pass, I guess. Maybe not, though.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Not sure it's even worth it. Still, I don't know what the best outcome is for that.
No.
So yeah, Snitter notices the wire separating their cages is loose along the bottom and pushes his body through to join his depressed friend. Then Ralph, fed up with his inadequate existence, emotionally snaps and leaps forward in a violent rage, but as he collides with the cell door, he is surprised to find it easily open for him. But then he just backs up into his cage because of his Stockholm Syndrome-induced fear. And Snitter's like, we got to get out of here, Ralph. But Ralph says, they'd only bring us back. And Snitter's like, no, fuck that. We literally have to leave. This is insane.
Yeah.
Before the white coats put you back in the water. And this is where, we hear white coats for the first time, which is such a brilliant piece of world building, I guess I would call it. Like, it brings us into the mindset of the dogs.
Yeah.
And how they see the world, where they call the humans who work in this lab white coats because they fucking wear white coats.
Yeah.
And also throughout this movie, there's whenever we see humans, we barely see them. It's it avoids their faces. Yeah, it avoids their faces so much. A lot of the shots are just their legs, bringing us down to the dog's perspective. It's really similar to Lady and the Tramp. They do that as well, where we mainly see the humans from just their feet. And the dogs decide to leave, making their way out of the dog cage room into the next evil chamber. It's an experiment room with a bunch of screaming monkeys wearing brain scanning helmets. Also, there's a bunch of crying rabbits. Oh, this is a runner throughout the movie, is sad monkeys.
Yeah, this chimp who they keep cutting back to whenever
he's got suction cups on his head.
Yeah, whenever the humans are on a phone call.
Yeah.
They just cut back to this monkey who's just weeping like Jesus or something. Like he's just cradling his head in his hands as he carries the burden of humanity.
Oh my God.
It's insane.
It's a crazy runner. We just keep coming back to this sad monkey throughout the movie, and every time he's more and more sad.
Yeah.
And that sucks. As the two dogs look in horror, Ralph says there must be some reason for this. Somehow it must do some sort of good. Yeah, you brought that up. Brutal line. Because it's not true, or animal testing does. I don't know.
I was going to say it makes our shampoo better. Sorry, that's a joke. Don't even put that in the video.
No.
I don't want this to be my legacy.
We got to give these rats the plague to make fucking our shampoo cry free or whatever, tear free. L'Oreal, no tears. We got to inject these rats with the plague to make it so. God damn. We got to fucking do brain surgery on this monkey so this bar of soap smells a little better. The ends do not justify the means. Let's just go back to some basic shampoo. I don't care. As long as you don't have to fucking bully a monkey, I'll be okay.
I'll go down and bathe in the river. I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's fine.
Just hose me down.
As long as I don't have to watch Plague Dogs again.
Yeah. If you just let that dog go, you can just hose me down in the backyard. I'll be all right. Trust me. As they make their way through the animal testing facility, they accidentally knock over a rat cage and the rats scatter. And this is important because it's later revealed that these are the plague rats. There's no way that, can be useful. Unless you're trying to cure the plague, which is, you don't even need to do.
I think that the logic of the movie is that they're doing it to study, defense against
the dark arts
and the dark arts. But,
Yeah. They enter the next chamber of evil. It's a hallway and they can smell the outside world through one of the doors, but it is locked. Luckily, Ralph finds another possible exit as he lifts up a metal flap on the wall labeled incinerator. And he smells it and he says it smells like a death place, but with a hint of fresh air, which is enough for Snitter. He jumps down and upon surviving he signals for Ralph to join him. Oh yeah, and as they're going through this lab, like Ralph keeps laying down like every chance he gets. Like every 2 seconds he's like, let me
he's
just
exhausted.
He's exhausted. Just
He's
reminding
been
us.
murdered for days on end, just wading around in the water trying to stay afloat.
Yeah.
He's got nothing left.
Reminding us that he's being drowned so much and he has nothing left in the fucking tank. Brutal.
Did you pick a cursed frame for this movie?
Oh, when we get to it, I'll explain how we're going to handle it.
Okay.
Obviously, we can't handle it the way we normally handle it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They go down the incinerator, and both the dogs, feeling very tired, they lay down and fall asleep. And Snitter dreams of the outside world. He's leaping about, smiling, having fun, but it turns into much less of a dream and more of a traumatic memory. As he goes to cross a road, a truck barrels towards him, and his old owner jumps in front of it to save his life. And then Snitter cuddles up to the dead body of his fallen owner as the voices of accusatory humans blame the dog for the death. So this is the trauma that he has sustained and carries with him. Damn. Next, the dogs are awakened by the sound of humans entering the lab, and then they are hit on the head with the body of the dead dog from the previous day. It's been dunked down to the incinerator, and the humans go to ignite the incinerator. Luckily, the dogs find a small exhaust flap, and Ralph starts trying to squeeze through it, but he's a bit too big. And the humans turn the incinerator on just as Snitter bites Ralph's ass, forcing him through the hole and jumps out after him. As the room bursts into flames behind them, they book it through the fence and off into the world. Hell yeah. The dogs look up at the beautiful night sky saying, we're free. This would be a great time to roll credits.
I was just thinking that. That would have been a nice short story.
Yeah, I think if you had accidentally brought your kid into the theater, that's the moment to leave. See? It all worked out. This 8-minute movie.
Yeah.
Next, the dogs are investigating their surrounding land and are surprised that the towns and roads and houses are all gone. It's just barren mountain land. Ralph says that the white coats must have changed it to give them lots of space to torture animals. And yeah, so they're both surprised once they leave this lab because, like, it's just like a barren kind of forest around them.
Yeah, they're in the middle of a national park.
Right. But they're like, what happened to all the houses, basically, once they come out?
Yeah.
I think is implying that, like, they just don't realize that they've been transported here, right?
Yeah. At first, when they did first say this, I was wondering if this was supposed to be like a dystopian setting or something, but I don't think so. I think it's just that they are unfamiliar with where the hell they are now. Yeah,
so they were probably in their own towns and then got dog-napped and brought here in a truck, so they don't even know they've been moved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's like a running thing too of Ralph, like he says, in like acknowledging that the world has changed, he's like, the white coats must have done it.
Yeah.
Like throughout this movie, he thinks that humans are like basically gods. Like there's a few times he says shit like this where it's like, the humans must have done this, and it's like the weather.
Right. Yeah. Well, they essentially are gods to like they have complete control over his life and his Yeah,
that's true. That's a bad god. Humans, they don't make great gods.
No, not traditionally.
No. Stick to what you know, humans. Just what do humans do? What do we do? We just share cat videos and like what are the stereotypical human things to do?
Sharing cat videos and Guess that's about it.
That's
Making
about it.
YouTube videos.
That's all we're good for. Recapping retro cartoons. And then Snitter talks about his dream of having a new owner, but Ralph doesn't want to hear that shit. But Snitter insists it would be really dope. So the two dogs embark on their journey to find a nice, respectable, non-torturing human owner. And the dogs reach a body of water, which is understandably triggering for Ralph because he's been drowned so many times.
Yeah.
Upon seeing the deadly liquid known as water, he cowers back and says, "If you fall in, they won't let you out." And Snitter says, "The flies in my head keep buzzing. Feels like smoke," as he paws at the the bandage on his head.
God damn.
I thought it was a metal plate for like half the movie, but
Yeah.
it's just a bandage.
Yeah.
And
he
yeah,
keeps referring to the flies in his head and the cobwebs in his head. He's all turned around. He's all mixed up.
I know, and it's such like specific imagery that it's like very effective to illustrate his madness and what he must be feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where he probably has tinnitus and like just crazy brain fog, I guess.
Yeah, like
feels
something's
like
been
smoke.
taken, something's missing.
Eventually, the dog spots some nearby houses, and Snitter becomes very excited and optimistic, saying, "We're going to be all right now." They race towards a house and bark at the door, and a man comes out and starts throwing rocks at them, saying, "Away with ya." So next they go into the town, and they see a shop, and Snitter says that he'll go first to demonstrate the proper way to charm a human. He thinks that Ralph is like, not good at it, and he's gonna beg himself a nice owner. So he walks in the shop, wiping his paws on the doormat.
Very polite.
Yeah, he's doing everything right. But we hear some humans say, "Hey, look at that, a dog with a cap on," and they laugh at his brain surgery bandage.
But it sounds like they were going to be nice to the dogs, Like they were just kind of like, "Oh, some dogs." Like I don't think that these guys were going to do anything nefarious, but the dogs are just so traumatized that they see the knives and they see the guy in the white coat and they bolt out of there. But I think those guys probably would have thrown the dogs some meat.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe this was going to go down a Lady and the Tramp situation. Everything was going to be great. They'd have pasta in the back alley and...
Honestly, I think that like these people in these shops, just based on their reaction to the dog, like I think that those are probably the nicest people they're going to meet in the whole movie, and then they just kind of get spooked and they run off.
Well, this is also before they become wanted dogs.
Yeah, yeah,
and the media is like on it.
yeah.
But yeah, the shopkeeper is in the middle of sharpening a large knife, which one of the dogs spots, and they're like, "Oh, well, fuck this. That's crazy," and they hightail it out of there.
And I believe he's also wearing, because he's a butcher, I think he's also wearing a white coat. So they go like, "Oh, that's a bad sign.
Can't trust a white coat."
Yeah.
So they run behind a rock wall to gather themselves. And Ralph says, "That guy had a white coat on. Maybe this is a town of white coats." Yeah, he is just very skeptical of humans, and his paranoia is growing.
Yeah.
Next, Snitter spots an approaching car and plays dead on the road. The driver stops and gets out. They pick him up and put him in, and they go to put him in the car, but Ralph jumps out defending his friend, which startles the human, and he drops the dog and drives away. And Snitter's pretty pissed about this. He's like, "They were going to be my new owners." But Ralph says that they were fucking white coats. He knows it. And they were going to take him back. Even though
I think I misunderstood here. I thought that Snitter was just like having an episode, basically. I didn't realize that he was trying to like actually
he was having maybe he was like so excited about the prospect of seeing a human. I don't know.
Maybe. I thought that this is just the first time that we see him start to have adverse effects from his surgery, and he starts to like, I don't know, fuck around with his head.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't think he's actually playing dead here.
No, I think he's having a bad time.
He is, yeah. He's freaked out. Oh shit. I'm putting it all together. Remember when his owner died? Got hit by that truck? Yeah. So when he's on the road and sees a car, he's instantly pulled back to that fucking moment, and he's like, he cannot go on.
Yeah.
He just collapses.
He has an episode.
God damn, this is all very well made.
It is.
Next, some herding dogs are herding some sheep, and Snitter and Ralph spot them in the distance. As the farmer closes the gate on the sheep's pen, Snitter says, "That's it, Ralph. A real master of dogs. That's our guy. We'll just copy what his dogs are doing, and then we'll be in." Makes sense. Makes sense. I see his logic.
Yeah. Good
So-
theory. Too bad they fuck it all up.
Snitter and Rolf, they jump into the sheep pen and chase them about, causing pandemonium that results in the pen door breaking down and the sheep getting out. Then they are confronted by one of the herding dogs, and he's like, "What the hell is wrong with you idiots? You know how friggin' long it took to herd those buggers? Dog damn it."
God damn it.
But Snitter explains that they just need an owner. But the herding dogs tell them to kick rocks, you fucking weirdos. So our heroes venture onwards. And I guess it's been a while now, so Snitter says that they will die if they don't find food soon. And this is a real turning point for Ralph. He says he won't die without a fight, and they need to go back to their wild animalistic roots.
Yeah.
And then there is a quick, terrifying psychedelic sequence as the rocks around them transform into vicious canines, which is symbolic of the interchange within Ralph. He has decided to commit to the wild and forget humans entirely. Then Ralph walks off saying that he will kill. Smash cut to October 18th, day 4. Dun dun. The dogs are finishing up a nice meal of a sheep's carcass. And then they make their way towards a valley, but Ralph says he can't go any further because the battle with the sheep has left him bruised and tattered. So Snitter goes on alone investigating the area. But back with Ralph, it's like pouring rain and he's sleeping through it. And then Snitter wakes him up saying he's found a secret place, dry and out of the rain. So he takes him to a cave that looks like an old mine shaft or something. And back at the rotting sheep carcass, the herding dogs and the shepherd are investigating it. So they're not going to get away with these crimes. Oh my God, this could be a cursed frame for sure.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. And he's like poking at it.
The rotting sheep carcass with the flies.
Yeah.
Ooh, yikes. That's a crazy thing to have to draw for
It's
your
a
job.
Very, very detailed and grotesque illustration.
Yeah. Good thing that's not rotoscoped. You don't want to rotoscope a rotting sheep carcass. God damn. And later, as the crows pick the sheep skeleton clean and our heroes return to it, they can smell that other creatures have been here. And Rolf says he doesn't know what that scent is, but it makes him angry. Then he says that whatever it is, it's still lurking about, watching. He can feel it. And then when the dogs return to their cave, they smell trouble. They can hear laughing inside from the cave, and it's a fox. He says he's a Todd, and he's been watching them for days. And he makes a proposition to them. He will show them how to live in the wild if they share what they kill with him. And Ralph thinks he's a bloody thief, and they will decide in the morning.
This scene I thought was so well done. Like the way that the light is rendered in this scene, and like how the fox is really obscured by the shadows, and the dogs are silhouetted by the opening of the cave behind them. Like, so well done.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
just really, really cool.
And the next day, it appears the dogs have accepted the Renard's request, as they are now traveling as a trio. Renard, French for fox.
Nice.
Oh yeah, this movie came out in 1982, and 1 year before, guess what Disney movie came out? Do you want to guess?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. Just tell me. I can't think of the name of the one I'm trying to think of, but I can picture it. What is it?
Oh, really? The
What is
Fox and the Hound.
Yeah. That's so crazy because in my head I was like, it's got a fox and it's got a dog. Son of a bitch.
They found the perfect title for that movie.
Yeah, they nailed
The
that one.
Fox and the Hound.
Good stuff.
Came out 1 year before this, 1981. Such a 1-2 punch of sad dog fox movies.
Yeah.
Whew.
Not a good period of time to be a fox or a hound.
That's a Fox and the Hound, also very fucking good. I really like that movie.
I don't remember much about it.
It's surprisingly powerful, the story they're telling. It's just about like how friendships are mostly temporary, and that doesn't like take away from them.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you can always look back on it and be like, oh, that was a great friendship. But like you're not going to know people for your whole life, probably.
Right.
Very powerful message to have in a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Next, October 26th, day 12.
Dun dun.
These titles make it feel like it's like a zombie movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're surviving it with them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what it is. Like it really.
The humans are the fucking zombies. Don't let them get you.
But it also that's the thing about setting it this way from the beginning. Day 1, day 2 is it is alluding to some kind of finality. Like what happens on day 45? You know, you wonder right away. Like day 1 of what?
So the gang is hunting a sheep. As the fox and Ralph take off, Snitter scratches his head and his bandage falls off, and it reveals he has a little bald spot on the top of his head with some stitches.
We just can't stop watching movies about dogs with fucked up heads.
With little bald spots on their heads. Same thing in our in Thumbelina.
I have to say, though, I still think the Thumbelina dog is more fucked up than Snitter. I think that dog's probably from the same facility, if anything. That would explain a lot.
Yeah, Thumbelina's mom was an employee there for sure. Took that one home so she could abuse it on overtime.
God.
The fox and Ralph pursue the sheep as Snitter buries his bandage in the ground. Then the sheep comes towards Snitter, but Snitter corners him on a cliff and pushes him off, successfully killing the sheep. And Ralph asks, "What's up with your head?" And Snitter says, "It's just got a hole in it. Not a big deal." Pretty big deal.
I like his attitude, though.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's just my head hole. Lots of things have holes.
I'll walk it off. Like, I could see your brain, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe take a second opinion on that one. That night, the gang breaks into a barn. The fox infiltrates the henhouse, and they get a big haul of poultry. And later, Ralph is feasting on another bloody sheep, and the fox walks up and is like, "What is wrong with you, bud? You can't be killing sheep willy-nilly like this out in the open. You think the farmer's blind? Your arse shall be inside out by morning."
Is that British?
I'm trying, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Does
sounds
it
kind of
sound-
like Newfoundland.
Oh, you're right. That is Newfoundland. But he says, "Your arse will be inside out by morning."
The fox is also not British. I feel like he's a Scottish fox. He sounds like he's got a Scottish thing going on.
According to Wikipedia, he's got a Geordie accent.
Okay.
Which is some kind of London accent? I don't really know.
But he keeps saying shit like Bonnie when that just reads as Scottish to me.
For a lady or Bonnie? What's Bonnie?
Yeah, I think it just means like nice, maybe.
Bonnie means nice?
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see.
You're very Bonnie.
No, you're attractive.
Oh.
Attractive or
I don't remember him saying that.
Or excellent. Yeah, he has I feel like throughout this movie he's got all sorts of like slang that made me feel like maybe he was, but whatever, Wikipedia knows what's up.
If we've learned anything from the Dino Sausage episode, it's Wikipedia is a fucking gold mine.
I wonder what these dogs, what their home address was before all this took off, and whether or not they had a maid.
Reptilon, yeah. The fox is like, "I'm not staying with you guys anymore. It's too risky." And he dips. And so, one morning, some humans get together with their big truckload of hunting dogs and their shotguns, and they commence with the hunt for our heroes. And as Ralph and Snitter are sleeping, the fox returns to tell them that the farmers are on their way with guns. But Ralph says, "But I'm a good dog."
We know.
And
We know, Ralph.
"You're a very good dog, Ralph."
You don't deserve this.
No. And the fox says, "You're no dog at all now. You're a sheep killer. They'll blast your ass out."
The fox has some crazy lines in this movie.
He literally says they'll blast your ass out.
Yeah.
I'm not paraphrasing.
He drops some real bars throughout this.
And so the gang flees, going deeper into their cavernous cave. The farmers arrive at the mouth of the cave, and seeing the sheep scraps on the floor, they know our dogs are in there. Luckily, the gang emerges from the other side of the cave through a small rock opening, and they successfully escape with their lives. Back in the animal testing facility, a sad monkey is slowly rocking back and forth as a phone rings, and a white coat answers it. And the man on the other line says, "I'm ringing you to ask if yous was missing any dogs, because my sheep are being killed." But the white coat refuses to give him a straight answer.
I liked this scene. I thought the writing was good. I thought also the voice, like the voice acting was really good. It felt kind of like as real of a conversation that could take place between these two people. I thought this is when I really started to notice, like, this is really well written. Like, nothing feels forced or unbelievable given the circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah, because what they have to communicate here is the white coat is lying to the person on the other line, but they don't tell us that.
Yeah.
And it comes across perfectly because of the way it's performed.
Yeah, and just the frustration of the guy on the other end of the line who's calling, like, you really feel.
Oh yeah, it's like talking to customer service. It's like, who can tell me? Like,
yeah,
can somebody tell me if you're missing a dog?
Because I've got to fucking work and I'm losing sheep. Like,
you're right. And he's just like, "Are you missing any dogs?" And the guy's like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Well, can you go look
figure it out?
Like, isn't it easy to know if you're missing a dog?"
Yeah.
And also, I mean, during this phone call, we don't actually see the humans at all. It's only ominous shots. It's only sad monkey shots while the humans are talking.
So is the see no evil, speak no evil. He's just kind of, and this monkey knows what's up. He watched these dogs escape, I assume, because we did see some of those chimps who were strung up in the room. So I kind of feel like this monkey knows what's going on, and he's...
Yeah. I wish they could have brought him with them and had one plague monkey on the...
Yeah, I would have loved a plague monkey.
Crew.
He's getting into hijinks. He's throwing bananas. He's wearing a little top hat. And he does a dance routine. That would have been great.
This movie could have been called The Plague Dogs, featuring Plague Monkey. And yeah, like, we don't see the humans for most of the movie. Like, the shots of them are fleeting or, like, avoidant.
Yeah.
It's like showing anything except their faces. And I think it's obviously very intentional, but it's like to help paint the villains of the movie as not a specific person. It's like it's all of humanity is the villain.
Yeah.
That's pretty well communicated by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Good fucking movie.
It is. It's just...
Wow, most of the things we cover are insane. And like have almost zero thought put into them.
I know. Well, that's what I mean. It's like, it's so much easier to riff on some of these movies, and then you watch something that's so well crafted and at the same time just heartbreaking, and you go like, oh, I gotta make fun of this one now.
Yeah, maybe we could squeeze a few fart jokes into this. Right after he has brain surgery, maybe he farted. That would be funny. Yeah, I mean, most of the things we cover, it's like somebody ripped a line of cocaine and then came up with the concept in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was like somebody wrote a novel and then they lovingly crafted it into a fucking film that communicates the themes perfectly.
Yeah.
God damn. What are we doing?
We're just letting the people know. Maybe they want to watch it. Maybe they don't want to watch it. Either way, we fucking watched it, so.
You're right. November 8th, day 25. The gang is sleeping in an old dilapidated building, but Snitter wakes up and just wanders off. And elsewhere, a couple white coats are outside looking for the escaped dogs, discussing how lying to the farmer was the right move. A white coat uses his binoculars and spots Snitter, and spots the bald patch on his head, so he knows what's up. He knows that's the missing brain surgery dog.
Pretty big giveaway.
Yeah, you're going to want to cover that up. Put a leaf on there or something.
Yeah, that can't be him. He's just got a leaf on his head.
So he whistles for the dog to come to him, and Snitter, hypnotized by the unrealistic expectation, daydreaming of having an owner, is lured in. As he gets close, he has a flash of hesitation when he sees the man has a shotgun. But he isn't holding it. and he seems friendly, so Snitter jumps up to the man. However, when Snitter jumps, he accidentally triggers the shotgun and it blows the man's fucking face off.
This caught me
Holy hell.
so off guard.
Me too.
Like, I was not expecting this movie. Granted, it's been insane the whole time. I did not think it would go the direction of Snitter shoots a man in the skull.
Literally blows his face off, like hits him straight in the like nose eyes area.
Yeah.
Holy. And he is obviously instantly covered in blood. My God.
Yeah. Insane.
This
Snitter
is-
has now killed a man. And he's implicated himself in a murder. And as if things weren't already bad enough, now Snitter's a fucking murderer.
And we've witnessed it. Yeah. I mean, in 1982, this is an adult animated film, but, you know, obviously kids found themselves in the theaters because of not understanding what the movie was. So, like, at this point, small kid in the theater watching this, like, this is going to change you.
Sorry, if you're an hour plus into this movie, still in the theater with your
We're
kid,
48 minutes in.
if you're 6 minutes into this movie in the theater with your kid, whatever. At this point, your kid deserves to see a man get his face shot off.
But
because
yeah,
this has just been sad and no fun.
isn't that how Bambi is? Like the first 6 minutes are sad and the rest is like all right.
Kind of traditional, I think, for a lot of like these. It almost became the norm where it's like they just stuff this trauma into the first few minutes of goddamn Finding Nemo and Up and all these other Disney movies that just start depressing from the jump and then they get a little happier. This is depressing from the jump and then it just gets worse.
Yeah, nobody expected Bambi to pick up a fucking 45 and blow somebody's face off halfway through the movie. It's hunting season for us now. God damn.
That would have been sweet though.
Yeah, and you got to explain that to your kid. Yes, Tommy, sometimes even a small dog can blow your fucking head off with a shotgun by mistake. It's just a part of life.
If his tiny little paw fits under that trigger, anything goes.
Yeah, you always got to watch your back around the dog. We told you.
They should make guns for dogs. We'll cover that another time.
Guns for dogs. I could be like a sequel to All Dogs Go to Heaven. All dogs have guns.
And go to heaven.
And they make you go to heaven. And, all right, back to the movie. And Snitter, horrified by the blood-soaked human, runs off. I mean, he's already traumatized by a human death that he feels guilty about. I mean, this is taking the cake. There's no mistake. He is guilty for this one.
Oh, 100%. I saw him do it.
Yeah.
I saw him pull the trigger.
If I have to go to court, I'll fucking testify against that little bastard. Yeah. So he runs off just into the wild, freaked out. And then next, Rolf enters the site of the murdered human while looking for Snitter. And the other human spots him and shoots, but Rolf evades and flees. November 9th, day 26. Dun dun. We have to do it every time.
I forgot.
So the fox and Rolf are in hiding, but Ralph is worried about Snitter. They've been separated for a day now, and Ralph knows he's being hunted. That night, Ralph goes onto a mountain and howls to the moon in a beautiful parallax shot.
Yeah, this really caught me off guard as well. This scene is a real standout shot.
This shot is, immaculate.
Very well done. Yeah, the mountains wrapping around in the background and completely changing perspective, going wide into a tight, back out into a wide, like really well executed.
And this is him becoming the fully realized version of his new self, right? He is a wild dog now.
Yeah.
He is. There's no going back.
It's him in the elements.
Yeah. Next, someone from the lab calls like a professional dog hitman
Dog the bounty hunter
to go take care of the sheep killing dogs. And Ralph continues searching for his lost, traumatized buddy and eventually finds him in the old, dilapidated building. And Snitter explains that he has sealed their fate by accidentally murdering a dude. And Snitter blames himself, saying, "Everything bad comes out of my head."
Jesus Christ. As if he already wasn't messed up enough. Now he's got the guilt of a dead man on his paws.
Well, he already had the guilt of a dead man on his paws.
That's a good point, yeah. This isn't his first rodeo.
Yeah. He's
Jesus.
now double dipping into the guilt pool of dead man. God damn. And then we see the professional dog hitman, Dog the Bounty Hunter, gearing up in his house, cocking his sniper rifle. Oh,
this is where things really start to take a turn. Like they start to introduce this, you know, not to make a pun, but like cat and mouse kind of. There's a new arc to the story where they're being hunted now by this guy.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, the lab people were looking for them just with like binoculars, but this guy is like...
Now there's a new villain introduced.
We're looking at his apartment right now and... Oh, shit. And he's got posters or like news clippings on the wall of like killer dogs. Like he is on the case.
I didn't notice that. But I did notice when we jump ahead into the bar scene, which I know we'll get to, but I was appreciating similarly just the amount of detail in the environment, like all the little posters and stuff that they add. It goes such a long way in building the world without saying anything.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing now, it looks like he has like a police award or something on his desk.
Yeah. He's the sheriff of killing dogs.
That's a terrible title to take up.
That's not a good title. You shouldn't.
You don't want to do that. And then November 15th, day 32. Over a month. Bark, bark. The dogs are going through the rubbish bins of a house, and we hear the voices of two women watching them from a window. "Whose dogs are they?" they say. "What's up with that little one's bald head? Those must be the dogs that shot that dude the other day." The women come down and shoo them away. Ralph leaves, but Snitter is cornered inside the rubbish bin, and the woman feels sorry for him as he whimpers. And one of the women says, "Well, we'll shoot him in the shed and then telephone the police, I guess." So they broom herd him into the shed and lock the door. That's a crazy reaction. Just like, oh, I guess we'll shoot him in the shed.
I don't think she said they were going to shoot him. I think they just said put him in the shed and then we'll call the police.
Oh, yeah? I didn't have the captions.
Maybe she said shoo.
Shoo him into the shed?
Maybe shoo him. I don't know that they went to murder. At least I hope not.
Well, I think from my understanding, that's what was happening, because the context of the rest of the scene really seems like he's about to be murdered in this shed.
Maybe.
But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So, in the shed, Snitter starts having flashbacks to his former prison, the lab. And then it turns into a flashback with his old owner, near the warmth of a hallucinatory fire.
It's probably the nicest moment in the whole movie. For a moment, he's back in the good old days.
His disassociation from reality is the good moment.
Kinda, yeah.
So Ralph goes to recruit the fox for a rescue mission, and they return to the shed. Ralph speaks under the door, asking Snitter if he can hear him, and Snitter says, "I'm inside my head now, where I should be." And the scenery around him phases between the shabby shed and the warm, comforting parlor of his former home. And the fox pokes his head under and says, "Get the fuck out of here, you great nanny hammer." He doesn't say fuck, but he does say great nanny hammer. Awesome
Which is
slang. Whatever
just as bad as saying fuck.
Great nanny hammer?
You can't say that. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what that means.
Well, a nanny hammer, if we just take it at face value, a nanny is somebody that looks after kids, and a hammer is a hammer, so.
So it's a... Okay.
It's a
hammer for murdering your nanny, like Clue?
Exactly. It's a Clue weapon. Yeah, great nanny hammer.
Was the nanny in the kid's room with the hammer?
It was the nanny with the nanny hammer. The nanny's not supposed to use that. But Snitter says he can't come out or he'll go mad again. So the fox goes in and drags him out. Just as the humans are coming through the main door. And do we see the humans coming through the main door here?
I don't remember how this plays out exactly.
If we see them going in with a gun or something, then we know.
Because the police are coming, right? They've called.
Okay, so maybe it's the police they're just worried about.
Yeah.
You're right. That's a man's hand that grabs him.
Because if the women were going to shoot that dog,
you're right. They would have just
shot him.
Yeah, you're right. Luckily, the gang gets away just in time. Next, at a gas station, a few humans are discussing the wanted dogs. And this scene is just brilliantly blocked too, because we're following one of the person's dogs the whole time, and we're just hearing the voice over the humans. And the dog is just fucking around at the gas station, like pissing on stuff and like being a dog.
Yeah, I found this scene to be like surprisingly quite sad, even though it's just background conversation to move the story forward. But like following this dog who's actually like cared for and has an owner, and like
it's
just the contrast of
You're
this dog fucking around at a gas station. It climbs into the car and lays down on a little bed. Like
it doesn't have to think about the fucking terribleness of life.
Yeah, this movie again does such a good job of just like contrasting images or like speaking volumes without really needing to say much. It's like you said, it's really well blocked, really well directed. Yeah,
absolutely. And the one of the women ends up giving one of the white coats at the gas station a ride to the lab. And during that ride, the white coat gives a detailed explanation of the escaped dogs. He explains that in the lab, they were doing survival tests on the Labrador. So he might still be alive. Drowning is survival tests, I guess, just Jesus, but all right. But he says the little one must surely be dead because they did an experimental brain operation on him. And now they'll never know if it was successful. Yeah, and I don't know. Did they say what the operation was exactly, or?
I don't believe so. They may have, but all I remember is really that they conveyed like, oh, what a waste. Like we're not going to know whether that operation was worthwhile or not. So, no, I don't think it was.
What could you be possibly testing? A brain of a dog is so much different than a human.
Of a dog's brain can we remove before it's not a dog anymore? That's my only guess.
That's no experiment.
No.
Then we see the dog assassin at the small dilapidated building. He's hot on their trail. And next, at a pub.
I love this shot because it's all a one shot.
The whole pub scene?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that.
It's awesome. It just pans through and you see all this detail and like visual storytelling on the walls. And
oh, yeah.
It's awesome.
You're right. And it gets exposition across as it's doing this, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's like just focusing on the TV in the bar for a second, showing us the fucking dogs are like on the news.
Yeah, there's the reporter who's spreading the word, and maybe I guess they do a little fade there. It's not exactly a one shot, but you hardly see any people for the most part, just glimpses of faces. It's just really effective. They got a fox head on the wall.
Yeah. And there's a notice board, probably says wanted dogs, flag dogs. And the dogs are the talk of the town at the pub. Everyone's talking about them, and they've even made the news. And there's like a beautiful shot of a Guinness being poured too.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah,
it's Guinness.
That's not Guinness.
Look at the I think the tap says it. No.
Oh, so you're probably right.
Oh no, there's just a Guinness poster. It's not necessarily Guinness.
I thought that yellow at the bottom was like beer, but that's just so it's probably Guinness. They're probably drinking Guinness.
Yellow Guinness. So back with the gang, they've ended up at the original site where they decided they were going to be wild animals, where the rocks like had this psychedelic sequence. And Snitter scratches his head wound and whimpers as Ralph licks it for him. As the dog continue their journey, the dog assassin is not far behind. Oh.
Yeah, that also got an emotional reaction out of me when he was licking his head.
Yeah. They have really become family. Even the fox included.
Yeah, yeah.
The three of them are like inseparable now. This is their family. It doesn't dive into the backstory of the fox at all, but I feel like so much is implied by the way he's so savvy of the world. He's seen a lot of death, and he's probably seen a lot of foxes die. Maybe his family of foxes has died. So when he recruits these dogs to like be his bodyguards or whatever, like he's really recruiting a new family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foxes are known to be crafty, right? And he's crafty in a few senses here. He leads them on, but he's also fulfilling his own sort of need for company.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like the fox in Wild Robot. Similar kind of setup where at first this fox is totally solo right. And he's a sneaky little guy, but at the end of the day, he just wants community.
Yeah, exactly. That is also a fucking beautiful movie. God
damn. Yeah.
The Wild Robot rules. All right. November 21st, day 38.
Dun dun.
Thank you. Under the cover of night, the fox stalks a home searching for food, and we hear the voices of the humans inside explaining that it has come out in the media that the animal testing lab was working with the bubonic plague, and the dogs must have it. They must be plague dogs.
Dun dun.
This is what I said at the beginning, where it's like they say the name of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's not a satisfying moment because
you're not excited to hear that.
You don't want them to be plague dogs.
And you know that they're probably not. Nothing has really suggested at any point that they're plague dogs. They're just dogs who were mistreated and want to have a life.
I was really happy about, like, that's my feeling about it, is they're not plague dogs. They don't actually have the plague. There's nothing that tells me that. And a lot of my, like, worry about watching this movie is I don't want to watch a movie about plague dogs. That's insane. That's so depressing. So it was nice to see they don't actually have the plague.
That is a silver lining for sure.
They just have other terrible things going on.
Yeah, at least
that are like plague equal.
They don't have the titular plague.
So after the fox returns to the group empty-handed but covered in egg yolk, the dogs put him on blast for not sharing that sweet, sweet egg yolk. Then they chase him off and go to the farm themselves, successfully nabbing a chicken. However, the door of the human swings open, and there's a farmer with a shotgun and his wife. He lifts up the gun as the dogs are paralyzed in fear, but the woman warns him not to shoot. She knows it's the plague dogs. So they let the dogs take the contaminated chicken with them and then call the police. And this is an interesting turn of events for the plague dogs.
Mm-hmm. They're starting to be treated a little differently now. People are looking at them differently. Rumors are spreading.
Yeah. And their like negative label that the humans have given them is actually their like what is keeping them alive. Like because they have the plague, the humans don't want to kill them because they don't want to deal with these plague dogs on their property.
Yeah.
Next, winter has fallen and the dogs think that it's the fault of the humans. Ralph says they're trying to make it too cold for us to live. And then we see a shot of the dog assassin. He's still following them. And at this point, I'm like, this dog assassin, not that good at his job, honestly.
No, yeah. Cut to the chase, man.
If you're going to be a dog assassin, you should be able to, like, you know, make good on that promise within a couple days. Or hours, even.
Yeah, he's tracking these guys.
The seasons are changing.
Seriously, yeah.
And it's, yeah. I think I mentioned this earlier, how Roth like thinks that the humans are, affecting the weather, affecting everything in the dogs' lives now. Just like the humans are a metaphor for paranoia, I guess, or everything is paranoia to Ralph now. He thinks the humans are just trying to get them.
Yeah.
And everything that bad that happens is because of the humans.
He's not wrong. Might as well be true.
Humans invented winter. November 23rd, day 40.
Dun dun.
The harshness of winter is in full shittiness as the howling ice winds discourage our dog duo. They take refuge under a small bridge. They hear a car pull up and the driver gets out to take a piss. And because they are desperate for food, they charge it. And the man, recognizing the famous plague dogs, abandons his car and runs away while the plague dogs hop in the driver's seat and mow down his groceries.
And it's funny because all the while it's overlaid with him telling his version of the story to the reporter. And he's like, oh, these insane dogs charged at my car and they were so vicious. But they're actually like showing you it a little more clearly from the dog's perspective, and they're just like tumbling through the snow and they're like excited because there's food there. But the guy's retelling this story like it was the most vicious attack. And yeah, granted, they did fuck up his car, but I mean, like, they weren't out there to do any harm.
Yeah, that's true. They're just a couple hungry plague dogs out for a meal.
Good thing he had his portable 1982 camera with him, so he took some pictures.
Oh, great photo he took too.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Really captured the dementedness of the plague dogs. They just ate all his cornflakes and unraveled all his toilet paper in his car.
Which he had for some reason.
Then the dogs go back to see the sheep herding dog, asking him for food. And the shepherd sees them talking from afar and is like, Jesus Christ, and backs away.
This is really sad, this scene, because the dog doesn't even recognize them. At the end of the conversation, he goes, have I seen you before?
Oh, really? I didn't catch that. So the sheep herding dog didn't know them?
No, he's talking to them like they're new dogs who are just out here, but they're so emaciated that he doesn't even recognize them from before.
Wow. Next, the dog assassin is hot on the trail of our heroes. He's following their paw prints in the snow. And the fox is following the dog assassin. Again, terrible assassin. He's being stalked by another animal and doesn't even know it. This is the worst dog assassin ever.
It's the least qualified guy, whoever he is.
Yeah. He was like, I mean, we saw he had a police badge or something, but like he probably worked like 2 days on the force and they fired him and he was like, I'm going to become a dog assassin. That's not a career path.
It's a noble career.
Just become a security guard for a mall.
Imagine you meet someone, you're like, so what do you do? I'm a dog assassin.
Dog assassin. Sometimes dogs get the plague and they get out. I
hunt them for days.
Ow, it takes me months. I'm out camping in the wilderness. I gotta become my own version of a plague dog in a way. God damn, dude. You gotta become better at your job if you're gonna be doing that.
He's about to get a lot worse at his job, actually.
So the dog assassin spots the dogs from afar and draws his weapon. He's atop a mountain and the dogs are down below. He positions himself in some rocks on a cliff face and he takes aim for the dogs, getting Ralph square in his crosshairs. As his finger tightens around the trigger, the man is startled by the fox, defending his old friends. The gun goes off, but the bullet narrowly misses Ralph's head. It clips his collar, and the assassin slips, falls off the mountain, and dies at the feet of the dogs. Damn.
Once again, wasn't expecting it to go this direction. I didn't think there would be multiple human deaths in this movie, let alone captured in such a detailed and grotesque kind of way. But this was a crazy scene.
Yeah, worst assassin. You're a
easily
dog
the
assassin,
worst assassin in any movie.
and you get assassinated by the dogs?
It took him days to get his sights on the dogs, and the second that he did, he was murdered by a fox.
Yeah. Then a helicopter flies by and spots the corpse of the assassin.
I love this shot. I have to shout it out.
The helicopter?
The POV, it's technically, I guess it's a pretty simple shot. They've drawn it all from the top down, but it's just like the view from the mountains and the overlay of the voiceover of the people like talking about what they're seeing. It was just awesome. He's like, "Oh, I'll follow the tracks," and the shot starts to track the
Oh yeah.
footprints through the snow, and it ultimately leads to the
It,
reveal of this body. Just really effective. Yeah, this is just such a cool fucking shot.
yeah, it's just like
Felt like I was there.
mm-hmm. And then we see the corpse of the assassin. It has been shredded apart by presumably the dogs.
Yeah.
That is fucking crazy. What we are looking at right now is insane. This is okay. So this is the scene that was cut from the UK version to the US version for the violence or the graphic imagery.
I think that's pretty silly. This is I don't know. It's disturbing. It's obviously like an alarming shot, but I think in the broader context of the movie, this isn't the most upsetting thing to see. Like I think I was maybe like a little desensitized to all the madness going on at this point, that when I see this body, I'm like, well, I've already seen a fucked up sheep. I've watched like
Yeah.
dogs being drowned. Like I don't know. I don't think this warranted. Well, I guess there are obviously just limits on what they can show, but I don't see that this needed to be removed from the movie. It is crazy though.
Yeah. I guess like in terms of the movie, like this is actually like a winning moment for us to view like a human has been killed
Yeah,
that is hunting our heroes.
we've thwarted the villain.
We've eaten his fucking intestines. Okay, so this was going to be the cursed frame of the movie because it just clearly is insane that this was drawn, this shredded man.
Yeah,
But then I was like, oh, well, we can't do a cursed frame for this movie. It's not right.
no,
It's not right. Because the point of the cursed frame is to have a good laugh and see something weird that somebody drew that doesn't look quite right.
right, yeah.
And
This is all very intentional.
this is so intentional, and it's a very upsetting image, and a man has been shredded apart by the hungry, hungry plague dogs.
So instead of a cursed frame, we're just going to insert a minute of silence for this
This
man.
This is the cursed moment of silence. We'll move on now. So, the gang is all back together. Yay. Everyone apologizes, and as their friendship is repaired, they continue on. And we get a voiceover of various humans explaining that, in fact, the lab was conducting experiments with the bubonic plague on rats, which is an insane thing to do because the facility is in the middle of a national park. And since the dogs have now been blamed for the murder of 2 humans, the military is going to get involved.
Yeah. We see everyone dispatching. Everybody's on the way out. They're taken to the air. They're taking to the roads. They're gonna find these fucking guys.
It's brutal.
It's
The
just that's kind of
military?
the movie throughout. Like from the second it starts and the second they get out, you just kind of feel the circle closing in, and that's what it's counting down to ultimately. You know, day 1, day 2, day 40. It's just this circle closing in on them because people are aware and becoming more and more aware of the situation.
No. Day 7,000, the dogs are sipping margaritas on the beach. They're still alive.
Whatever helps you sleep at night.
So the gang is on a mountain observing the situation from their cave, and they see the military helicopters searching for them. And Snitter is tweaking out, saying, "They've flown right out of my head and grown huge."
Crazy.
Yeah. Because he was talking about the buzzing in his head earlier, and now he's seeing these helicopters and being like, that's the buzzing in my head personified.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Again, it's like comes back to his guilt. He's still blaming himself for like the external forces that are at play here.
Oh,
he
wow,
sees
you're
these
right.
huge helicopters and he's like, well, fuck, this is my fault. They escaped out of my head.
He literally said earlier, everything that bad happens comes out of my head.
Yeah.
Damn.
What else do you say through this fucking movie except damn?
Damn.
Ah, shit.
This is a great episode for us. We just say what happens and then we say damn after. So the gang makes a run for it. They book it down the road but are spotted by a helicopter. It pursues them, but they are able to lose it as they escape into a trench. Next, the fox goes out to distract the military dogs so the plague dogs can make a run for it. And the fox is successful and then starts making his way back towards his friends.
I really liked that little chase scene. You're really rooting for the fox in that moment. You know, at this point, we already like the fox and we know he's a good guy, but this really solidified that. He took a lot of the heat for them so that they could make a getaway.
Oh yeah, he is fully ready to sacrifice himself to save his family.
Yeah.
Next, the plague dogs spot a train and they board it. The train departs and the plague dogs are successfully escaping. Unfortunately for the fox, a bunch of military dogs catch him and murder him. Rip. The Todd.
Yeah.
The Todd does not make it.
It's, I think I knew this was coming. I guess I didn't expect the fox to live in my heart of hearts, but it was still a huge bummer. But he died in the most noble way by defending his friends so that they could go drown in the ocean.
And from everything the Todd, the fox, has said and done, like he is so careful and savvy of the world, he's not going to get himself into a deadly situation unless it's to save his friends.
It was his last act of goodwill.
Yeah. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
Damn. So the plague dogs arrive in another town and they deboard the train, but the military helicopter shows up and spots them. They run for it and make their way down the road, ending up on a beach, and they see the sea, which they've never seen before.
But they've heard about it. They do talk about the sea throughout the movie. The Todd tells them about it, and they talk about the scent of it. And, yeah.
And the dogs lie down saying they have to rest for a while. The helicopter spots them and calls in their location. And back at the lab, a white coat is answering the call as one of the sad brain monkeys is having a fucking panic attack.
This is just such a devastating way for this to go. Like the scene of them, the shot of them lying on the beach and the helicopter is just kind of noiselessly hovering in the distance with a clear view of them. It just feels so hopeless. It sucks.
And then to cut to this sad monkey just holding his head like all hope is lost.
It's just, once again, just carrying the burden of humanity.
This movie does a great job of, like, if you ever forget that the sad monkeys exist, they'll show you right as you forget that they do exist, and they're even more sad than you saw them last time.
Yeah.
So the army descends upon the beach, and Ralph says, "I'm not going back. They won't take me back." The military boots march in sync through the cold sand, and Snitter says, "Look out there," as he motions with his snout out to the sea. He says, "Our island is out there. That's where we have to go." And Snitter walks into the sea, saying, "We can be free." But Ralph stops at the shoreline, still haunted by the memories of the multiple attempted drownings by the sadistic whitecoats. Snitter doggy paddles out into the sea as the troops of military men line the beach. Ralph looks to the sea and then looks to the armed humans approaching him, and then he leaps into the water, yelling, "Wait for me." Hell yeah, Ralph.
Way to conquer your fears.
Beautiful moment. I mean, kind of he looks, there's two choices.
Yeah.
The humans, which is, he knows as humans are an inevitability of pain and and then the open water, which is endless. The unknown. It's the unknown that he chooses.
Yeah.
That is pretty beautiful. Snitter says, "It's a wonderful island," as the two doggy paddle out into the unknown. and shots fire and around them. Bullets pierce the water, but none of them hit them. And then a fog rolls in, providing cover from the barbaric humans, leaving the dogs to paddle endlessly in peace. After a while, Snitter says, "I can't go on anymore." But Ralph encourages him. He says, "Keep going. Just try. We must be near the island. I see it." And the dogs disappear into the fog over the endless water as credits roll. Dun dun.
So you had a happy interpretation of this, and
Hold on. The movie's not done. As the credits continue, we see there is an island.
I have to be honest, I didn't get
Yeah.
this far.
There is an island in the distance. It's very fucking far.
This does change things.
Exactly.
Because
that changes everything.
I did pause the movie in anger as soon as the title rolled.
Yeah.
Well, not anger, but you know what I mean. I aggressively hit the space bar on my keyboard and went, okay, well, that's Plague Dogs. But I didn't get to seeing an actual island, which does give at least some glimmer of hope that they made it over there. And I guess then the helicopters would have flown over there and the military would have come and shot them.
You got to hang on a few seconds to see that island, but that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
However, it's really fucking far. Okay, so...
And also, like, if they get to the island, then what? You know? I don't know. I guess, you know, the fog covered them. There is a chance of hope here.
Personally, I think the ending after the movie's over, I think Snitter probably did drown, but Ralph made it to the island because he's been drowned so many times. They said he can fucking hold his breath for 13 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, if anybody's making it to that island, it's him.
Yeah, and it is an interesting way to kind of bookend the movie. It opens with him in the water and ends with him in the water, and there's maybe a little bit of there's a more of a hopeful tone to it.
Yeah, he's going to continue swimming until the end of the time.
Yeah.
Because his spirit is unbreakable.
It's true.
All right. What a fun video we're making here.
And then they ripped a huge fart.
Huge. The water bubbles up behind Snitter and he's like, "Did I do that?"
Then the Benny Hill music played and that was it. Roll credits.
Any other thoughts on the Plague Dogs?
No, I mean, like, obviously not a funny movie per se, but very worthwhile. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it just as a fan of animation. Really well made and a worthwhile story for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad to have watched it. Hard one to crack a ton of jokes about, but
yeah, it is an important movie because it does show the horrors of animal testing and animal abuse in a way that puts us in the perspective of the dogs and makes it makes no fucking sense why you would be doing this to them.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Honestly, like I enjoyed this so much that I might go and read the book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just to see what's different, and I think it's a cool story. But yeah, I gotta go watch SpongeBob now or something.
All right, we got a message from Martin, and he said, "Hey, bro, please consider branching out and making other brother channels. For example, where you do cool horror movies." Thanks, Martin. The Plague Dogs is kind of a horror movie. There you go.
I was horrified, yeah.
It's something. But cool idea. I can't do that. I can't watch fucking horror movies. I know you're a horror guy.
I love horror movies, yeah.
I can't watch it. I get legitimately freaked out. Yeah, I watch one horror movie a year, and that's all I can do around Halloween.
That's the time.
This year I watched The Visit from M. Night Shyamalan.
That's like also kind of a comedy. It's a silly movie.
I don't think it's yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah, but it is scary.
It has its moments, yeah.
I mean, the woman like chasing them underneath the house.
That's probably the scariest part, yeah.
I still think about that. I can't,
Yeah.
that'll do me a whole year. I can't watch.
There was no reason
movie.
for any of that to be happening, though. What a stupid situation they were in there.
That's true. That's true.
They shouldn't have been under that fucking house.
But that is the tone of the M. Night movies.
Yeah.
Like, they're all kind of crazy like that. I like them. And if you want to send us an email for some reason, you can at retrocartoondude@gmail.com. Next week, we're going to be covering Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh, thank God. I was going to ask. After you made me watch Plague Dogs, I was going to say, could we watch the next fucking episode of Thundar and just have a nice time?
Absolutely. Episode 3.
Ugh.
And if you liked this, listening to us talk about Plague Dogs, then listen to another episode of this podcast. Even if you don't know the movie or show, you know, we give you everything you need to understand what's going on, and we're just having a fun, goofy time. Although in this episode, we weren't really doing that. So,
but yeah,
you get what I'm saying. Click to subscribe. And then if you want to leave the show a 5-star review on whatever app you're using, that would be most radical. Thanks for tuning in. We got to go walk into the water endlessly and hopefully reach our islands. Bye-bye.